everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Keeping It Real Tea. I am here today. I have a wonderful, wonderful episode planned today. Please, guys, like, comment, and share as we get started today. I have wonderful guests. We are all women, which I love, love, love. And we're here today from the Superwomen of Real Estate. So today's an episode about just recognizing women on our page, what we do, what we bring to real estate. I have Jan and Christine below. They're from Waytogo Homes. They are a part of our Superwomen of Real Estate Facebook page. And at the top beside me here, I have Kimberly Pittman from
Hi.
FMA Real Estate. Did I say that right? I'm sorry, Kimberly. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. I the letters confused.
You got
FMA
it.
Real Estate here. And we are all here to talk to you guys about our businesses, our careers, what we do, what we love to do, and what we're here for. Again, guys, this is Keeping It Real Tea. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. Like, comment, share, invite people to come along. We have a wonderful, wonderful story and news planned today. As I mentioned, Kimberly and I started a page, and this page is called Super Women of Real Estate. The reason for this page is so that we can bring awareness to what we do as women. In our community, a lot of people, especially men, and no disrespect to men, we love our men, but men are really dominant in real estate industry. So I want to bring light and share light to women because we do some amazing things and we multitask and we are in our businesses and we have full-time jobs. Some of us, Kristen and Jan, are still working, guys, a full-time job while they're really in this business fix and flipping. So I'm excited to share with you guys their story. I definitely am excited to have them on the show today. Kimberly Pittman is so much that I could say about Kimberly Pittman. She is a phenomenal integrator, wonderful woman. She's a wholesaler. She has her business. She works with a lot of just different people to help get organized, myself included. If I didn't have really, this platform wouldn't even be started. And so it's just a lot that we want to just bring light on and share light on what we do in our businesses. Kimberly, you want to talk a little bit about Superwomen before we kind of get into it of our whole idea behind Superwomen?
Certainly. Just after the first of the year, or actually prior to the first of the year, Yolanda and I, we've both been in the Superhuman campaign for over a year and a half. And everyone knows that our industry is predominantly men. And as women, Yolanda and I were masterminding and we thought, we really need to take and bring together like-minded women that are powerhouses like we are, like Jan, like Christine, like Yolanda, like myself, and so many more that I can't mention at this point. So we decided that we would start the Superwomen of Real Estate Facebook group. And it has grown extramentally. I believe we're at like about 500 members now. So, and that's organic reach. So we'd obviously make sure you look us up on Facebook for Superwomen of Real Estate. It is our way of making sure that this is an actual tag that Yolanda and I felt very strongly about, that there are no women left behind. We absolutely do not want any women left behind, because as women, we need to be able to support each other. And sometimes, there's a reason, there's a cliche that men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Sometimes we just don't communicate as clearly with men. And so the Superwomen of Real Estate is meant for us to be, as women, supporters of each other and fellow female entrepreneur enthusiasts. That's what we're there for. And the Superwomen of Real Estate, I don't know if we're going to mention that later on, Yolanda, or not. I don't want to step on that, but we are.
You can mention it.
Okay. In the planning of an actual event and the gathering of the Superwomen of Real Estate. Doesn't matter where you're at in the United States, Canada, international, wherever it is you are, we want you to be a part of this. This is up and coming, and we have seen such growth in this. And the resources that we are giving other women is what makes it worthwhile. That's
Definitely agree. And
yes,
also, if there's anyone watching, again, please like, comment, and share. But if you are
definitely.
watching and you want to be a part of the Superwomen of Real Estate page, please comment below so that way we can make sure that we get you on that page and that you're able to have an experience with us, a community, and a platform. We've actually met Jan and Christine through that page. They share their business, they talk about what they do. And for me, I just really love seeing their work. I'm all about a woman who handles the business and do it with respect, do it with such grace. And each and every time I scroll down our Superwomen of Real Estate page, there's Jan.
Yeah.
One thing that we learn consistency, right? So the
Mhm.
first couple times she would post in there, I see it, and I'm like, okay. And then when I start seeing the consistency, I said, wait a minute, who is this? So I don't want to give their story. They're going to tell their story, but I want you guys to know and understand today, whatever you're doing in your business, be consistent with it. Had she not been consistent with posting her videos, I would have never knew her story. I would have never knew who Jan was. And Jan, I can even tell when she posts her videos in the beginning, it was like, hey, this is Jan, it's way to go home, and it was like very quick.
Right.
Now she's slow and speak. She show you things. So it's like when you do stuff, we may do it scared. We may do it and not know if it's going to come out right. We're not sure. We know we just want to get out there, right? And so I want to encourage everybody to stay consistent. Whatever it is that you're doing, be consistent. Go to course. You might not feel like you see the results, but people are always watching. And that's what I let Jan know today. Like, you know what, Jan, had you not done that on the page, and really is a great example of what we set our Superwomen page up to be. Our page is a platform and a community for everyone. And so this is a platform that we're sharing to be able to share your work and your story. And so without further ado, because I know Kimberly and I talked a lot, but I want to introduce Jan and Kristen from Waytogo Homes, y'all. Give it up.
And not to give you too much pressure, Jan and Christine, but when Yolanda and I discussed who were we going to spotlight first, you guys have set the bar. So that's just to let all the rest of the women know that the bar is way up here for Jan and Christine. So we are so happy to have you.
And excited even more talking to them today, and they both have full-time jobs. Let me say that again.
Exactly.
Waytogo Homes is their
Yes.
entrepreneur, job that they do together, but they both still are very much into their full-time positions in addition to what they are doing in real estate, which is just wonderful. And so, again, I'm glad to have you today. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you, Yolanda and Kimberly, for having us on the show today. We're very grateful. And Yolanda, you are absolutely correct as far as consistency. You know what they say, every master was a disaster, right? So just get out there and do it. You're going to make mistakes, and hey, you're going to fine tune on the way. But yes, I'm Jan. This is my wife and business partner, Christine, here. And it all started with an idea. Me and Christine, we talk about this all the time. If we ask, everyone out there to raise their hands, have you ever had an idea? We're all going to raise our hands, right? Everyone has an idea. But there's a quote we love, and it's called, an idea not coupled with action will never get any bigger than the brain cell that it occupied. So our idea started on our board behind us.
You say that one more time for people
That's what I was going to say.
If you missed that, please somebody write it in the comments so that we can go back and check that out. Please say that again, Jane.
Yes.
That was powerful, Jan. That was very powerful.
So I'll say it again. An idea not coupled with action will never get any bigger than the brain cell that it occupied.
Wow.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nugget right there. If anybody missed it, we're going to have to go back. I'm going to have Jan say it again later. But if you missed that means that the idea is still in your brain that it occupies. You just missed the whole subject. You ain't catch it. You're not ready for it. I love that. That is really beautiful, and that is very powerful.
Yes, it is. Yes. And our idea started on our goals board behind us. We put real estate on there. We knew we wanted to do something more than just the, hey, I'm going to retire from my job in 30 years and kind of then what? We're like, hey, we need to start now. What are we going to do? What are we passionate about? And we started doing research, and we're like, hey, real estate, that looks like something that's a good idea. It looks like something we could be passionate about. We've always wanted to be of service to people, to give back. It fit our core values. Our 6 core values, by the way, are truth, transparency, communication, sharing, positivity, and paying it forward. And it seemed like real estate was a good vehicle that embodied that for the both of us. And we put it on the goal board, real estate. And so we actually weren't going to start real estate until January of this year. That was the initial goal. But now we've been in business for just over a year now. We're about 15 months in, and we're doing really well. And we started early because we had already got the vision in our mind. We wrote it out, and things just started, kind of dropping in our laps, because that's what we were attracting. And we attracted an educational program to us. There's a ton of educational programs out there. We tell everyone, just find the one that's the best fit for you, that resonates with you, because you definitely need the education. You have to, when it comes to fixing that's our goal right now. That's what we do to build up our capital. You need to know how to, look at comps, how to get comps, how to run the numbers, how to analyze deals.
And we knew none of that until we had our education. So we didn't go into education. We didn't go into real estate knowing anything really. We just knew we wanted to do something else besides our 9 to 5s, and even though we have careers, we were like, okay, what else can we bring to this life? What else can we do? What can we leave? How can we help our son? How can we help the people, our families? And it's just like, real estate seemed like a really good vehicle because it's a way, but we didn't know that. And so we just want people to know, you can have an interest, an idea, and then you can pursue it. And then when you pursue it, that's when you learn and you can master that. And when you, and it takes time to master. Is you don't have to come out and be great at something right away. But like you said in the beginning, that consistency, doing it over and over again, you start to get better and better at something. And so when we found something that we were interested in, because we did have that idea, we decided to go for it. And once we had the opportunity to get education, we took it. But we made the most of it. And that was the thing. It was like we studied because COVID hit. Actually, when we started our program, it was a week after COVID. Everything was locked down. So we were like, what are we going to do? So, but what we could do, we could just study. And we studied and we learned everything we could until our brains were full.
And let me ask you guys this. Just being in the game a little over a year, how many deals have you guys closed?
So we have closed one so far from beginning to end. We have 5 renovations going on right now. Of those 5, 2 go on market next month, and we just picked up 3 new deals. So we have 3 under contract within the last month. So now we have 8 total for the year, plus the 1 we sold. So we're at a total of 9 for the business, but 8 for this year. And our goal is 5 a quarter. And we were consistent, and we reached that goal last quarter. We're in quarter 2 now. So we have till the end of this month to get 2 more deals. And we're confident.
You guys got this.
Yeah.
You guys got those deals. That is
Remind us again where you're at so that people know that you're looking for 2 more deals.
Yes, we're in the Philadelphia market. We go all the way up to 2 hours outside of Philadelphia. So, Philly and the surrounding area and suburbs.
Right. Mm-hmm. Our first property was in Boyertown. It was so funny because when we got that opportunity, we walked into that like, we got this. It was a 2,800 square foot house that had a septic tank and a well pump. And we were like, well, wait a minute. We don't know anything about a septic tank. We don't know anything about a well pump. What are we going to do with it was like 2.6 acres. We're like, what are we going to do with this? But we were so confident that we could pull it off. And we did. We got it done. So,
I think that's the funniest thing where, you get a deal and it's something you've never done before. And you're trying to learn as you're going through it. And our minds be our biggest critics, right? Because we're like, oh, my gosh, I don't know anything about this. But at the same time, it's an opportunity to really learn. And now you know it for the next step, and that's why I love real estate, because each deal is something different that you kind of learn through. Like you said, a septic tank, I was dealing with the same thing. And I didn't know you had to tap into city water. And mine is a little bit different because I have retail deals, right? And so HUD is like, no, you got to tap into city water. We don't even want to deal with the septic because it's their property. My client's purchasing it, but they're using an FHA loan, which with the FHA loan, they want you to tap into the city water. They don't even want to deal with like the septic and all of that. So I'm sorry to cut you guys off, but I just
No,
thought
that's
that good when we get deals and we're like learning through them. So you guys have been hitting goals, which is amazing. You've just been in this a little over a year. I'm just summarizing for those of you who have just tuned in. This is Jan and Christine. They're from Waytogo Homes, and we're just breaking down their plan and their guides. They've been just in real estate a little over a year. They have 8 deals right now, nine deals right now.
8 deals right now.
8 deals.
2 more. They're in Philadelphia. They have 5 deals right now that they are fix and flipping, and they sold 1 so far, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, the one that you guys saw sold. Let's break that deal down. Tell me, how did you find that deal, and how much did you gross on it?
All right.
All right. I can break that
I'm
down.
getting into the business. I'm sorry. We like to know everything.
Numbers, we want to know all the details,
Absolutely. And Yolanda, it's so funny you mentioned how with the septic, in your case, you wanted to tap into the city line. And in our case, we did not want to do that. And we're hoping we didn't have to because it's like $20,000.
It's expensive. That's why I'm like, they tripping. It's expensive. We ended up not doing it, by the way, because they wanted to do it. But once they found out the cost of it, is very expensive. It is.
Yes.
So actually, this was a deal that was actually in our educational program that someone sent to us. Actually, one of our coaches, our mentors, we speak with her regularly. Every Monday at 6, we speak with our coach and our mentor, and she said, "Hey, there's these people looking to do a joint venture. We know you want to do a joint venture too. You should reach out to them." And we did. So we reached out to the husband at first. We never heard anything back. We reached out to him via phone, via Facebook Messenger, and nothing. So a couple months go by, maybe like 2 months go by, and she's like, "Hey, these people are still looking for a partnership. Did you ever reach out to them?" I'm like, "Yeah, we did. We tried, but nothing." So we try and reach out to the wife this time. So we're going back and forth with the wife for about 2 days, trying to see how we could work together. And it ended up we weren't going to be able to do a joint partnership just because the values as far as how we do business and just wasn't there for us, so it wasn't going to be a good fit. But we said we'd be able to take it off their hands if they wanted to go that route. So long story short, we ended up getting the deal, just Christine and myself, and meeting a real estate agent, and that was actually the first agent we put on our team. We went up there and looked at the property. After we looked at the property, we spent an hour outside just talking to the real estate agent, and it was awesome. We're like, "Oh wow, this seems like a good fit. Our values are aligned with each other. So yeah, welcome to the team. Let's work together." We were super excited. Yeah, let's do this. You guys want to do this deal? And we had took our contractor up there with us too. So we had already built our team, so we had everything in place prior to ever looking at that first deal. We had talked to people. And we're trying to get people onto our team. So we had talked to hard money lenders and different real estate agents and whatnot. But Scott was like the first one actually we onboarded as like, "Okay, hey, yeah, we really want you on our team. You're a good fit." And so, Christine, you want to talk more about after that? I talk a lot too. So.
and I'm very patient.
I love it.
So yeah, it was interesting because this was our first deal. We knew it was a septic tank in this house. This was in the rural area in Boyertown. It was on 2.6 acres of land. It was 2,899 square feet. And we walked around it, and it had mold in the basement. The basement had been flooded. This was it had some kind of weird heating system in the ceiling. And we were like, "Oh yeah, we want this house," right? So when we were talking to the real estate agent, and he said, "Okay, we understood what we had to do. You always have to know what your contractor is going to cost you for repairs. So that's the one thing you have to know, right?" And once he said, "Here's the price," we said, "Okay." We backed into the cost for the house we wanted to offer. made that offer, and we waited, and we got the call from our real estate agent, and he said they accepted. I think they called the first time and they countered, and then I think we went back and split the difference of the counter that they had, and we ended up buying a house for like 45,000. And he said they accepted, and a tear rolled down my eye because I was like, we got a 2,800 square foot house with a septic tank and a well pump.
And the moon.
Yeah.
You guys name this house, by the way. You know, in the beginning, you get a house and it's just toe up from the flow up. And so you got a little nickname for it. Did you guys ever have a little nickname for this home?
We named all our houses. We called it Edge Hill because that's where it's located there. You know, so we just named them what they are by a little bit near the street name and stuff like that. But yeah, we had that. I swear, you know, the day we closed, a couple of days we were outside pulling out a well pump. We had never seen one in our lives, but we're helping these guys pull this thing out, and it's like 200 feet long. We're walking down the hill. It was amazing. And hold on. That's it'll calm down.
Yeah, let us mute for one.
I was like, who's it? Is it me? Got it. So you guys get this property, and did you use your own money to get this property, or how was your first deal funded?
So we used hard money and we used private money. That's where our JV partners come in. So again, we had already built up our hard money lender, base. And it was so funny because at the time we had 3 hard money lenders on our team. And the first 2 that we went to, because we're going down in price, we're like, hey, who's the cheapest? Who's the cheapest? So we're working our way down. The first guy's like, no, it's in a rural area. We're not going to fund. It's like, okay. And the second lender was like, yeah, we don't fund rural areas either. We're like, oh my God. So we're getting down to our last lender, right? We're like, God, I hope he funds in a rural area. So, and he did, and it was awesome because he knows PA like the back of his hand. He's really all about the asset. As long as the numbers make sense, he's going to fund all day long. So like, absolutely, I will fund this. We're like, yes, okay, we've got hard money on board. And then we had already started talking with joint venture partners as well for, we had talked about our business plan. We've been on several Zoom calls with many people. I mean, at this point, we've talked to over hundreds of people via Zoom. Really it took the time to find out who was a good fit, and who wasn't, and move on. So we already had partners at the time. We reached out to our very first partner, because we're loyal. We're like, hey, this was the first JV partner. Said, hey, she wants to give us a chance. Like, we're gonna go with her, offer her the opportunity. She's like, yes, absolutely. And it's so fun because we both had our goals, and her goals was just, get some credibility under her belt so she could be able to do deals in her area, which is California. And so on this particular deal, we weren't going to make very much money at all, but it was just about getting the experience. Mm-hmm. So we're only supposed to gross about $20,000 and split that, so we get $10,000 a piece. But we actually ended up grossing $102,000 on that deal and splitting it. It's about 51 and some change home to our businesses.
Wow,
that's amazing.
That is amazing. Did you see my eyes? I'm like, how much? That's amazing. And with this industry, this market right now is very much doable. Inventory is low. So if you put a house on the market and you're expecting to get something, you may get well over, what you're asking. I love your story. And I'm so glad I didn't ask you your story before we got on here. So then I won't be like, I already know it. I'm just as surprised as my guest. So guys, if you're just joining us right now, I have Janet Christine from Waytogo Homes, LLC. They are talking about their first deal. They got it funded by a private hard money lender. They tried several before they got one to accept. And I want you guys to really get this. Consistency is all I hear and see with these 2 women. I love the fact that you guys didn't know anything about real estate. You didn't know anything about getting a deal. You didn't know anything about fixing up a property. And you're meeting so many people, talking to people, and doing what? Networking. The most important thing that you can do is network, whether someone's in state or out of state, networking with hard money lenders, real estate agents, other investors, wholesalers. Network with everyone. Do not look at anyone as an opportunity not to network, because you never know who they know. Once you're linked with someone and you're friends with that person, they will give you, if they're cool now, some people might want to charge. Hopefully Jan don't want to charge me. I'm like, Jan, who's the hard money lender? But people will be open and willing to share who has helped them. It's a community where money is out here for everyone to make in real estate. It's not a competition. This is a way to connect, communicate, impact, bring value, and also share, right? I believe when God blesses us, if we are being a blessing to other people, and it's not to do it because you want to be a blessing to get a blessing, it's to do it to be a blessing for someone else. When we do things unintentional without a reward or payback, God just has a way of just looking out. They were doing this deal thinking they were going to make $10,000. I want you guys to really catch that. They were thinking that they were going to, after all was said and done, everything was paid, they were going to get 20,000 and they had to share half. So they were only going to make 10,000. And Jan, you guys made how much?
We grossed 102,000 that we split.
So this property ended up grossing 102,000. They made 51,000 thinking that they were going to make 10. So you guys got an additional 41,000 above what you were even thinking you were going to get on this deal.
Yep.
Fast forward to now, you guys have 5 deals right now that you're on under that's being fixed right now.
Yep.
Who's doing your work for you guys?
We have a full-time general manager. And again, that was part of our building our team. We talk to a lot of investors and they say, it's hard to find good contractors. And we were just so very fortunate and blessed. We reached out to a lot of contractors.
We would go on Facebook and we would look at the responses for what they would say about contractors, because I was more interested in the people, because it's a couple of Facebook contractor groups. So when you look at the contractors who respond to someone who has a problem, it's like, okay, they're trying to fix someone else's problem. I'm like, they might be a good person. Let's talk to them. And we would reach out to them and actually take them to lunch and have like a 3-hour lunch with them.
Did you guys catch that? I think they missed it. I got to reiterate because I don't want anybody missing anything here. They were networking and taking them out to lunch. I know it's a pandemic, wear your mask, do whatever you got to do in this day and age, but we still got to remember the basics. I can talk to somebody over the phone till I'm blue in the face. When I'm in front of someone and I can put my eyes on your eyes and I can look and get a feel for who you are and the type of person you are, and I see your work, it's just different. So I don't want you guys to miss that. Now we have Zoom and all this is great, but it's nothing like being in the front of that person and having their attention and really being able to have a conversation where you can network with that person. So I didn't want you guys to miss that. That's a very important piece of it. You guys are as successful as you are, and I'm speaking things into the future because I know you have one deal, but I foresee many, many more. Like I see you guys really outbeating your goal. Being consistent and doing what you love and being open to just the game of real estate and how you got to do it. You guys came out really with the full force. Being in a year in, a lot of people think that real estate is this get rich quick scheme. You can do it real fast. It can happen quick. Things don't happen in real estate overnight. They just don't. We would want it to, but if you're getting something quick, you're going to get I can say this because it's my show, a shitty job. I can say this, it's my show. If you're doing something quick, you just, the results is what it is. You're not going to get those results. It's a long-term game. It's not a quick game. It's a build relationship game. It's a trial and error game. Some people are out here and they're fixing, flipping or doing things, but guess what? They're learning by their mistakes. They might have a couple deals and people always tell you about the success story. They will never tell you how they got there and or that it wasn't a consistent path, because sometimes things happen. And for you guys, it was in the beginning when pandemic was going on, you were able to sit back and just start learning. Some people are being quicker than and they skip that part. Some people don't want the instructions; they just want the results.
Yolanda, that's one thing that I really like about what they post on Superwomen of Real Estate you all are, and don't sleep. And please, I implore you, don't sleep on their videos on the Superwomen page, because they go through step by step, and you guys have shown us things that you didn't think was going to be there and how you actually solve the problem. So them going through it, and they show us behind the scenes. That's what, that's what we liked so much about the fact that of how much you were contributing to the page, is that you were showing real life. I mean, I remember when you were walking, you did the video of where you were walking through, and just basic things of the wiring, explaining things to people. That's what we need. And I actually found a lot of value from that. So
I was thinking that they was going to say, oh, we went back and got our contractor license and we do the work ourselves. Because when I see the video and they got their equipment on, guys, like they are ready. You know what I'm saying? They're not in there with, because, when I go, I might have one of those. When I show up at houses, it's like, okay, why are you here? What are you doing? Are you here to look at the property, or what are you doing? And so, but when I look at their video, I mean, they have the hard hats on, they got their gear on, they have their uniform on, they have, they are ready and prepared. And so, again, I didn't want to get the story before here, but I thought that you was going to say, oh, you know what? We went back, we got our contractor license, we did this. So listening to this, guys, they have the full package by networking with other people. They do the part that they're good at, and they hire people to do the rest. One thing that I want to share with everyone today that I'm implementing in my business personally this week is to, number one, automate what you can in your business. If anything can automatically be done as far as contacting your, your hard money lenders or your follow-up clients. For me, it's my clients, right? But set up something automatically through email, text, where you can always reach out to them. Even if you're not doing business with them, it's so good to send a message, hey, just thinking of you, hope all is well, looking forward to doing a deal with you in the future. That goes a long way. So automate what you can, and then you want to delegate what you need to. So delegate is, get an admin, get your contractor, get your, put your team together with delegating assignments. And then the third thing, do what we love. Do the part you love to do. Automate what you can, delegate what you need to, and do the part that you love. Those 3 steps will actually take you a long way. And I have to give credit to who it's due. I talked to a lender friend of mine. His name is Marcus Elegant. I had him on the show a couple weeks back. I was talking to him yesterday. We were just talking about business and just transferring information. And he actually shared with me those 3 things. We know these 3 things, but when you implement, be consistent, and do it, the results are going to be phenomenal. And I see all 3 of them in you, Jan and Kristen, when you guys talk about your business. Because really, I was like, okay, well, when is the contractor license coming out? Tell me more about because when you look at the video, you can't tell me that you guys have a contractor. Like Jan, I thought you was going to say, listen, I contracted is my job already, so I just got into the fix and flip because I'm already doing this business. But you guys really had a very well strategic plan. And stay consistent, because another thing, looking at your videos, I would never know you guys only had actually closed and funded 1 deal. I'm seeing videos, I'm seeing different houses. So, the 5 projects that you guys are working on, you said, listen, we out here. A lot of people don't know about it. I'm going to share on Superwomen of Real Estate page what we're doing. And look where we are, today. So consistency definitely pays off. And another thing, guys, nobody don't know what you don't tell us. Meaning, I'm thinking they have this, I thought you were going to say, hey, guys, we did 20 deals. I'm, making 6 figures. I'm doing this and that, already you guys net the 6 figures, which is phenomenal. And you guys made, the 51,000, which a lot of people don't do their very first time. So it was a really great first deal. But I really was thinking that you guys had a lot of deals already and that you had a lot going on. And it goes to show, when you are consistent, you're serious about your business, and you really are doing the work, it doesn't matter if you have 1 deal. If you guys would have said you didn't have any deals, I see what I see. So I'm like, I already know this is coming together. Then all 5 of them things will close at the same time, because of what I see you guys do. And it is great to know that you are beginners just like so many others. Guys, you can really do this business. You could do it. And Jan and Kristen is showing you that you could do it without even we're still having your full-time job. Again, if you're consistent, you'll make the time. whether it's after your job, before your job, hiring people, networking. What we just learned, you don't even have to touch a tool. You don't have to know nothing about the septic tank, right, Christy? We don't have
Hey,
to know
listen,
nothing about
all
the septic tank.
of in that first deal we had with the septic tank, we did learn about everything we had. That was our first deal, so we were like in it, like we didn't know
Learn
enough to
and
step
in it.
out of it. So we
Mhm.
we know everything about septic tanks now. It's like you can ask me anything, I'll tell you about a septic tank and a well pump. It's
I
like
love
this is what
it.
you gotta know.
And
I
it's so
love
funny
it.
to touch on, Yolanda, what you were saying about, automating, delegating, and, doing what you enjoy doing, what you find fun. It's so funny because we were consistent, like you said, in that as well. But the first 6 months of our business, literally all we did was educate ourselves and network. And so when it came to the automating, I'll give you, a couple examples. Like we let our agents do that. As far as like when it comes to like running comps, for example, we leave that up to our agents. So Christine and I have this thing, some things we say, we'll leave that up to the professionals. It's not that we can't, run comps, because we can, but it's just time savings. And our agents know, we're loyal. They know if we send them a deal and they give us comps for that deal, they're going to be on that deal. It's automatic. Hey, you're either on the front end, the back end, or both, however it works out. So that's the way in which we, automate. And then as far as, delegating, again, we've got our general manager. His name is Michael Melendez. If anyone's curious, he works for My House Services. He's great. And he's our full-time general manager. He does all of our renovations. And
Nice.
so we leave that up to the professionals. We're not contractors. We don't want to be contractors. It's not fun for us. We're learning a lot from, Michael, but sometimes, Christine can tell you, he goes through on almost 100% all of our walkthroughs. And if we can't make it, we do like a FaceTime, video walkthrough, so he can, give us what our renovation, budget is going to be. But we walked into some, like, with our agent, and we're waiting for Michael to get there. We're like, oh yeah, this looks awesome. Michael comes in because we're not contractors, but he's all like, I don't know about this.
Right.
Christine, you can tell them that one story, and we're excited about that triplex.
Oh yeah. We were in this triplex and we walked around this thing and we were like, this is really a good deal, and we were like, oh, we need to offer them. It was like $90,000. We're like, okay, this is something we could do. And he walked through that door and he just took 2 steps back and looked up at the ceiling, and he was just like, no, because we know when he comes into a place and he goes, this is not bad, we know we're on a good track. But he walks and takes 2 steps back from whatever we're looking at, and he shakes his head. We know we just need to stop and walk out.
I love that.
But what
You see him building relationships, so now you know what he's looking for, or what facial expressions he do, if it's good or not. I like that.
When we started, and the reason we could do that first deal was because of networking. And it's just that is the most important thing. Now, I'm more introverted, but I like to talk, but I'm a little bit more introverted. She's extroverted. So, the networking kind of goes on that side. And I support and I help, and I'm in all the meetings and all that kind of stuff. But that networking, it cannot be stressed more, because when we got that first deal, we could call people. And if you have a first deal and you find yourself not being able to reach out, then that means you need to take a step back and make sure that you're networking and have people in the list that you can call. Because I know it wasn't easy, that first deal, because it was the first. And we never had dealt with the lender, but we had talked to many lenders, sometimes for 2 hours, sometimes we would repeatedly. They knew us by name. So when we called, and even though we knew them, they would talk to them, not all of them said yes. We got down to 1 that said yes, but we had like 7 to call, and they answered the phone right away. It wasn't like we had to wait, because they knew who we were.
Right.
And I can't stress that more. And even for the JV partners, if we hadn't had the Zoom calls and talked to the people that we were talking to, getting to know people, we would not have had someone to say, do you want to partner with us? But we had these things in place, even though we hadn't utilized them before. It's like a lot of times people wait to that last minute and they're like, oh, I got a deal. Now, who can I partner with? Where's my lender? Who's going to help me? it's like you have those things in place before, and that's where the networking comes from. Even if you pick up the phone and you say hi to people. So yeah, it's so important.
And that gave us a little bit more peace of mind too, knowing that once we did get that first deal, that we had all these people in place that we could reach out to. We're not scrambling, we're not stressed out. It was such a huge relief that we didn't have to deal with these other emotions that usually are involved with the deal because we didn't have anything in place. We kind of worked to put those things in place first.
And it just made, stressed out.
But it made it a whole lot easier that we had, team members in place that we had talked to on a consistent and frequent basis, before we ever even got to deal one. We had already, talked about our business plan, our goals, our vision. They were on board with it. And then once we got that first deal, it's like, wow, they're like, all right, these guys were serious the whole time. Yeah, we're with you. And then after that, the deals just kept coming.
I was gonna say, once you get that one and everybody know you serious, it's like the rest of them, they have no problem with, jumping on board with you guys. Another question for you guys about your first deal. How long did it take you to do the renovations and to put it on the market to sell?
From beginning to end, it was a 5-month process. So renovations ended up being about 4.5 months, about 4.5 months. We got, as soon as we put it on market, we got an offer that same day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had it was the weekend before Christmas.
And it had snowed, and it had buried everything we had done for landscaping. So it was like, well, okay. So now that was better than the snow. We had to get somebody out there to like plow the driveway, and it was dirt coming up. We were like, oh my God. So they were tracking dirt. It was like, oh, it's like all these things. It wasn't a smooth process. It was like, wow, this is our first one. So we were like, we got to sell this. We were out there like every other day, cleaning up stuff and doing little things here and there. But it was Christmas because we had a showing during that time. We were like, who's going to come out?
Yeah.
And during a snowstorm.
Yeah, our agent's like, listen, we have to get this on now. Another snowstorm's coming. We got to do it now. So yeah, it was literally like the weekend before Christmas, and like 10 families came out, and one family just really loved it. And our agent said, he's like, hey, you see how many families are here? Put your best offer in. And he did. So, and it was funny because our ARV was only $350,000 because we always do a conservative ARV, what we know anyone's going to accept, the property for. And our agent was on board with that. It's like, oh yeah, 350 all day long, it's gone. So he ended up pricing it, once it came to actually price it though, he priced it for 410 because we thought, okay, at least we're going to get 400 based on the work we did. And the offer committee's like, the guy's like, 450. I will give you 450 for this. And everyone was blown away. Christine, myself, our real estate agent, our partner, we couldn't believe it, And Christine and our real estate agent at that time on that particular deal wouldn't believe it until they actually saw it on paper. Even though
that's an agent for you.
The seller and the seller's agent kept saying 450, and it's going to appraise for 450 because we had to get an appraisal too, right? We're like, oh my God, it's going to appraise for 450. It was going to appraise for.
Yeah, because he had a VA loan too. So that was the thing. It was when you get a house, and even whatever you do to it has to appraise for that amount that you want to sell it for if you're not doing a conventional loan or having cash. So it's like, oh, okay, So it's like all these little factors, we have to kind of wait for.
Yeah, even our real estate agent was surprised because he was all like, I don't think it's going to appraise for more than 400. I think we're good at 400. And we're like, well, we're good at 400 too anyway. So, we're still going to make something more than we were expecting. And it was so funny because his name is Scott, and he kept checking in with the seller and the seller's agent. They just kept saying, it's going to appraise for 450. It's going to appraise. We know. We're like, oh, okay. And it did. It appraised for what it needed to, and, and Christine did a happy dance. I still have her do it sometimes. I'm like, Christine, do that happy dance you did when we found out.
Sounds like an excellent Christmas gift to me.
Definitely. And nowadays, agents will, I had a real estate agent, and I had a struggle with this a couple weeks ago, but I was putting an offer for a client, and they wanted me to put in above and beyond the market. And for me, I'm always going to protect my client. If the client say I still want to do it, I'll do it. But I am going to advise you, purchasing a property well above what it's even, worth. Now you're going to be purchasing a property in negative equity. That's backwards. We don't, invest that way. And so this agent kept pushing it. She's like, oh, you need to go ahead and put an appraisal contingency in there. Meaning if the house doesn't appraise for, what you're putting out for, that your client would pay the difference. And I'm like, I'm not going to advise my client to do it. I mean, I'll talk to them about it, but me personally, I would never advise a client to do that. Unless it's, if you're going like 5,000 over, 2,500 over, something small, okay, you really like the house, cool. But when you're talking 25, 30,000 above, just so that, seller can get the highest bid, I'm like, I'm not for that. So I advised my client decided not to do it. 2 weeks later, the agent comes back and she's like, oh, financing fell through. The client couldn't meet the gap for the house didn't appraise. And I'm not going to say I'm the best with comps, but I do my comps, especially for a townhouse. If you're in a townhouse in a gated community, I'm only going 0.1 on looking for those comps because I only want to pull comps up in that community. I don't want to know what's sold across the street. I don't want to know what's sold up the street. I want to stay in that community. And I told my client, I said, it's not a good idea. Nothing's appraised for more than 235 in this community. I said, so the house is not going to go for more than that. So when the agent called back, she's like, oh, financing fell through. I wanted to see if your client still offered. I said, what did the house appraise for? She's like, 235. We were offering 250. And I kept telling my client, I was like, listen, I don't want to, if you want to pay the difference between this amount, 250, I said, it's going to go like 235. That's on you, but I'm just advising you, this is not going to appraise for more. So I was so glad in this example that we backed out because my client would have been looking at, 15,000, the house didn't appraise. Now you're happy in this house, and it's what agents call house poor, right? Now you got to put 15,000 out to meet the gap between the what you offer and the appraisal amount, house appraised amount. Because, like you said, Christine, the lender is not going to give you more than what the house is worth. You, as the buyer, have to come out with the difference. And so, with that, it does work in certain instances, and I'm glad it worked out in your instance. But sometimes we have to be careful too, just from a real estate perspective, just advising our clients, because now since inventory is low, housing on the market. And as a real estate agent, I really want to have a show to really shed light on what's really going on. But some people are just in it for a deal. They're not in it to advise their client. Me, I'm in it to build a relationship. I want to continue to work with you. I want you to refer me to your mom, your dad, your best friend, your cousin, everybody down the line. It's not about that one deal. So, you're advising your clients to do this stuff is not in their best interest, and a lot of agents are taking advantage of the fact that the inventory is low, and especially listing agents, they working for their client, right? Well, as a buyer's agent, we got to work for our clients as well. So it's like this, it's a community where we all should be coming together, but you also have to protect your client. And so with that appraisal, now it's just gotten really, really crazy in the market with inventory being low. But I am so proud of you ladies. I would love to in the future definitely meet you guys. We got to definitely hook up. Dinner or something would be amazing. You guys are right in Philly. I'm in Baltimore. We're in Maryland. Kimberly's in Virginia. So somewhere along the lines here, we definitely have to connect. I want to switch over to Kimberly a little bit for the rest of this segment, just to kind of share light, Kimberly, on what you're doing in your business. Just let us know a little bit about, because I know about it. I talk to Kimberly all the time, right? But I want Kimberly to just kind of share light on some things that she's working on and some things she has coming up.
Well, I have to, excuse me, let me sip some tea. Apparently my voice is going to go.
Sip your tea, ladies. We got our teas.
Mm-hmm.
We got sipping tea. If you guys are still sipping with us, if you're enjoying with us, please put a hashtag I'm sipping. If you learned something from this segment, please let us know what you have learned. Continue to like, share, and comment. Again, you are here with us at Keeping It Real Tea. This is Jan, this is Christine, and we have Kimberly Pittman here in the corner. And we are Superwomen of Real Estate, just talking to you guys today as women from our perspective in our working field. So take it along, Kimberly.
Thank you. Well, I love the fact that you asked Jan and Christine if they named their properties. My first investment, I did name my property. The name of the property was Not My Vacation. Because I completely I knew the same situation you guys were in, knew nothing about it. and had the contractor walk through. I was not as diligent as you all were in vetting my contractors. And that particular house, that was my first deal. It will forever be known as not my vacation. That was my first deal. So I have a few doors. I am currently working on 3 rehabs, which I thought were going to be added to my portfolio. However, having such a good friend as a realtor in this top left-hand corner of the screen, as well as talking to others, now is the time for me to actually roll these over and flip them. I will have one that will be on the market by the 20th of June, and I've offered bonuses. Thank you. I've offered bonuses to the contractors that if they can get the other 2 done by the end of June, that I would give them an actual bonus for that. So have you guys ever done that before? Offered a bonus for a certain time period, Jan or Christine?
We have. We do all the time. And we do it, we give incentives in different ways. For example, at all of our properties, we always leave a case of water and like a box of snacks for our contractors as they're working.
I saw that. I saw that on the video.
You saw that on the video?
Yes. Yeah, I always make sure there's a refrigerator there. I didn't do the snacks, but after I saw that, I made sure that I put beef jerky, and there were the little, what are they called? Like the little P3 packets. The protein 3 packets, yes, I made sure they were there. So I took that from you.
We also do gift cards.
We watching.
We also do gift cards. We'll do $5 or $10 gift cards to different places, and we'll leave a handful of those at the properties as well. Sometimes it's just just showing that the contractors that we appreciate them. I think there's a fine line between investors and contractors, where contractors always feel like we want all this work done and we don't want to pay them, and investors are all like, well, I need all this work done, you cost too much. So it's a fine line, and we just try to make sure we're always appreciating them. Our current contractor who does all our full-time generations, we get him massages and different things like that. So
are you guys hiring another realtor? I have my PA license, right? I mean, I could join the team. I could come to Philly. I love massages, by the way. We're gonna talk about that, because if you guys I'm on the wrong team.
We can definitely collaborate on some massages, Jan and Christine. Definitely.
You know what though? I just can't stress enough how much I just so appreciate you guys, even you, Kimberly. I mean, sharing these ideas and talking to people, you realize when you treat people on your team good, they stay. I know if I get a massage from somebody, I'm like, okay, where's the next house? What we doing next? What you need next? I'm a help. But in all reality, I'm doing this with my assistant. I love my assistant. She's a transaction coordinator. So in being an assistant, I have to think of other perks and things to, have her stay. So one of those bonuses is just a new laptop, a brand new laptop, a touch screen. This was like a kind of promotion to going towards the admin assistant side. And so I love the fact that you guys leave snacks. Kimberly, you're now leaving snacks and, doing things for people on your team. I think that's important to bring light to, because it makes them want to stay and feel appreciated. When we were working a 9 to 5, if you don't feel appreciated, you don't want to be there. If you're not recognized, if you're not, told enough how thankful people are. And of course, in corporate, they're not doing that. They're not coming to our department individual like, hey, I appreciate your work. They might do it. I work at a hospital, so we would have like admin week, and they would come and do fun stuff during like admin week. But on a day-to-day, when you're exhausted and you're tired, you just need that extra oomph to move forward. It's so important to recognize and value the people that work for us.
Very much so. Very much so. I did want to segment into what I'm doing on Clubhouse. Have been moderating on Clubhouse for a while now. And some of you, I'm sure, have seen maybe you haven't, but if you'll go to my Facebook page is Kimberly Pittman, as well as my Clubhouse is Kimberly Pittman as well. We are doing a leadership summit on June 19th, and I've been asked to speak at that. It's a 24-hour leadership summit. You can come in at any time during that time period from 12:01 on June 19th until 12:01 June 20th. And we are talking about everything from how to find your teams, how to lead your teams, how to hire your VAs if that's what you choose to do, how to choose contractors, anything that has to do with being a leader. And as we all know, being a leader, that means you're the one that has to make you don't have to. We get to make the decisions. And this leadership conference is international. It's not just the United States. There are women from all over the world. And I would really love for you all to come on. I'm not seeking followers in any way, shape, or form, but if you choose to follow me, that works too. But if you'll go to my Facebook page, you will see that there's some information there. There will be breakout rooms as to if there's areas that you are not so up to date on, like myself. I'm going to be teaching an actual class. We're rotating classes as well, breakout rooms on how to hire a VA, how to train them basically on what you want to delegate so that you can elevate your business, which is what you and Jan, you and Christine were talking about earlier. Yolanda, you and I have talked about that quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And other than that, you mentioned the FHM, and I know that we all, as business owners, not just as entrepreneurs, not just as women, but for FHM, for me, stands for His Majesty. And that is something that every time I say, when I answer the phone, FHM, it reminds me that I'm not doing this work for me. I enjoy it. I absolutely enjoy it. It's obvious that the four of us on the screen, we can tell that we enjoy it. But it's a reminder to me that I'm doing this to help other people on this earth and for God. And that just means the world to me. I loved, by the way, Jan and Christina, I also loved your core values. Yes, definitely. I would love for you to put them in the chat because I only caught 4 of them and I think there were 6.
Can you reshare them, Jan?
Yes.
Tell us again.
So it's trust, transparency, communication, sharing, positivity, and paying it forward.
Love that.
Nice.
Love that.
I was trying to get that on the thing, but I got to write it down. I was trying to write it down. But if any of our followers, if you are listening, please write that in the comment. I really appreciate it. That way we can really make sure that, because those are great values to incorporate in business. And it's something that we each can take away from these ladies today. And I must say, you guys incorporate every single one of them 100%. 100% food.
Absolutely.
It is definitely, I could talk to you guys for another hour. Like, seriously. It was like, okay, what's next? Because Kimberly, you forgot to mention, and I don't know if I'm stepping toes with this, but I know for the Superwomen of Real Estate, we are working on some hedge funds, correct? We're working on hedge funds. And so we got a lot of great things planned for the Superwomen of Real Estate page. Like we said, the conference, just putting out more content. But for you guys, being connected with the hedge fund is that's gonna, you guys they already connected with hedge funds. We might have to ask for the person that's behind in Philly need that connection. But it's so important to have that, and we want to put as much resources on the Superwomen of Real Estate page as possible. So that way more women can, utilize those resources that we already know that works and that, is working in our business. And so hedge fund was something that came up from the group. So if there's anything that you guys would love us to incorporate on the page, we would love you to put your content out there. I love to see, like, again, this is my first time meeting you guys and talking Zoom, but you can't tell me I don't know who Jan Brady is. Like, I was like, okay, that's Jan. Okay, cool. It's like, 6 in the morning, you're scrolling down, and I'm like looking at a video, and I see this nice lady. She has her hard hat on and her equipment on, and she's walking through the house. I'm like, man, this is mad cool,
Exactly.
Please continue to share
Exactly.
with us. It has just been such a pleasure having you guys around and just learning more about Waytogo Homes. We learned a lot today, right?
Definitely.
We learned a lot from Jan and Christine today. We learned a lot from Kimberly today, knowing she's having that summit coming up. So you guys, please make sure that if you do not have access to Clubhouse, you can
Thank
download
you.
the Clubhouse app. And Kimberly, tell us how we can find you on Clubhouse.
On Clubhouse, I am under Kimberly Pittman. I am pretty much under Kimberly Pittman on every platform there is, Instagram, TikTok as well. The only platform that I'm not under Kimberly Pittman, someone took my name on Snapchat. So it's actually Kim Pittman on Snapchat.
They took your name.
Yeah, someone took my name. So, but I did want to make sure that I rounded this out. I want to make sure that, and I obviously am very appreciative of the followers. That was not the point, but I would, we should all be following each other as a matter of supporting women, female entrepreneurs. I did want to say thank you again to Jan and Christine. I know when I reached out after Yolanda and I talked, it was such a pleasure to talk to you guys. I want other women to understand that on the Superwomen page, this is what we're looking for. This collaboration that has happened this afternoon, this is what we want. We want collaboration. We don't need any more competition. There's a lot to go around. We can help each other. And the collaboration that's taken place this afternoon has just been fabulous. And I am very thankful that you two agreed to be with us today. So,
Definitely.
and I also want to give a shout out to my beautiful sister for the real tea, because we are definitely sipping this afternoon.
And I want to add one more addition to our page. Ladies, if we're going through something and you need to call someone, you need some resources, you need to talk, don't hesitate to inbox, ask for people's personal numbers if they're willing to give that. But it's not all about the celebrations. As women, we wear a lot of capes. And we will never tell you when we need help. I'm sorry. We're too strong to do that. We might go in the shower and cry. We might cry to our spouse. We may cry to a friend, but we're not crying to each other in the industry for the results that we need, if that makes sense. You can't cry to your spouse who's not into real estate, who can't give you that resource for that hard money lender. You can't cry to your best friend who's not in real estate, who can't give you that resource to, find an agent or get comp or whatever it is that you need. So the point that I'm making is, if anybody would love to, Jan Brady is on Facebook. You can find her on our Superwomen page of real estate under Jan Brady. That's how you can find them two together, correct? It's not because they're hand in hand. Is it a way that we can find you on Jan Brady's page, Christy?
Yes, that's correct, Yolanda.
Yes.
Okay. I gotta make sure, because Kristen don't mind talking to you guys, but they are a team. You can reach out to her as well through Jan. And we really just want to let everybody know that, again, no matter where you are in business, if you're successful, if you're not successful, we learned today they've only been doing this for a little over a year. And again, their networking was their biggest accomplishment in being able to move forward. So whether you have all the pieces, you don't know any of the pieces, if you are interested in real estate, if you are a woman and you're interested in real estate, I invite you to come to the Superwomen of Real Estate page. That's our platform to just be able to uplift, share, impact, create education, content, and to be able to learn from each other. So don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. Do you guys have I think you do. You have a Waytogo Homes page, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You can also look at the beautiful videos that we discussed that we see from Jan on the Superwomen of Real Estate page, or you can go on Waytogo Homes page, because she'll share it. So the page is really, the videos are really on Waytogo Homes, but it's shared into Superwomen of Real Estate. So you could be able to just go down that page and catch them. Ladies, again, I appreciate you. I thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being part of the Superwomen of Real Estate page and bringing content, because had you not been consistent, I would have never met you. And this has been definitely a wonderful evening, sipping tea and talking real estate.
Definitely.
Thank you so
If
much,
any-
Yolanda and Kim.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much for you all agreeing to be on. And if anyone out there that has seen, if you received any value, which I can't imagine how you couldn't have received any value today. But if you received any value today, make sure you drop a heart in there. Make sure you direct some of your friends that are in the real estate business to our page. We greatly appreciate it. Jan and Christine, again, it was so nice to meet you. You're exactly what I thought you were going to be. Your personalities, your bubbliness, it's fabulous. And Yolanda, thank you for letting us talk on your real tea, and we're sipping, and I thank you for the time that we got together this afternoon.
Thank you guys. And I will definitely see you guys again, because we're going to do this again and bring other Superwomen on and just have a big party on here. So you guys have a wonderful evening and day.
Awesome. And if Christina, I could just say one thing to all the listeners and viewers out there. We just want you guys to stay committed, stay motivated, stay coachable, and most importantly, just make the time. One foot in front of the other, one day at a time. Do what you can with the time that you have and just keep moving forward.
I love that.
Absolutely.
If you heard that, please share that, hashtag it, tag Jan in it. If anybody received value today, I want you to share this video, tag Kimberly Pittman, tag me, Yolanda Brockington, tag Jan Brady. Let us know that you saw this video. Tag your friend. Even though this show is ending, it's still going to be going on. You can catch it on YouTube. You can still catch it back on Facebook. And we really appreciate your time. We told you how you can follow us and find us. And we really do this business. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.